YouTube live. Live. Good? Yes, sir. Might open up. Alright. Shalom, Yahweh, Shalom, Thumb to all the brothers, Yahweh, Shemata, Bashem, Yahshai to the sisters. We're in Houston today. Hot Houston. It's dark and hell is hot, Houston. However, you know, John Mahayaman gonna be down here in a little while. He just break down for everybody who knew from Thursday. All right, so just stay tuned. He's gonna be in here in a little minute. We're gonna hold it down for him. He's coming down in this heat. I'm gonna be talking about this heat every other line. So this heat is from Satan up in this bitch here. But it's all good. I'm gonna get used to it. I'm gonna have a cookout in snow in December. All y'all invited. When you come up north, don't complain. Just be here with it. All right. Y'all got any questions? Anything y'all want to go over? Y'all good. We could break down the heat on them. I'll break down this slave heat. All right. So y'all see what's going on in the earth today, right? Y'all see, all the uprisings, the riots, the inclusion of the so-called white man, the devil, right? You'll see all that going on, and it seems like what's on everybody's mind is again unity. It's pushing towards a whole unity vibe. Like we need to unite, we need to come together, we need to love each other more, right? But every time it comes to us, the children of Israel, they always want to talk about love. But when it's the other nations, they get to have justice. They get to, react and have wars and civil wars and, rebel against the system, so to speak. But with us, it's always about love. When the Arabs were selling the Kenyans a few years ago and still have them in slavery, ain't nobody was talking about love and coming together then. Nobody was saying, well, the Kenyans should just accept Islam and not get beat on the back, right? When them Nigerians having this civil war with the Nigerian people and the Biafrans, they're not talking about, well, the Biafrans should accept Nigerians or the Nigerians should accept that. They let them sort the differences out, right? When Ethiopia and Eritrea had their problem, they gave Eritrea their own damn country, and they're really Ethiopians. You get the point? Like everybody gets to have some sort of self, some sort of identity, except the 12 tribes. You understand? Because we are the ones not desired. So let's go there first, right? Give me that. Nation not desired. Also give me Joel chapter 3. All right. Give me Joel, the 3rd chapter. And give me O nation not desired, all right? Give me them hot precepts in hot Houston. Come on. Quick off the grill. Come on with it. Give me O nation not desired.
This is the book of Zephaniah. Come on. Chapter 2. Verse 1. Gather yourselves together, gather yourselves together, yea. Gather together, O nation not desired.
Mm-hmm. Gather together, O nation not desired. Right? We are that nation who is not desired. And all these things are happening for only one reason, to make us press together more. Right? The only thing that comes out of this for us is that we get to press together more. But it's unfortunate that even though it's happening, some of us decide to press together with the oppressor. Some of us decide to join our oppressor. Some of us decide to unite with our oppressor more until the next brother dies. Then a few more of us fall off the tree. And a few more of us, get disconnected from America. And it's unfortunate that we don't respect our own lives enough to just all at once separate from them. Like how much more of us is it going to take to die for us to realize we are not desired? Listen, we so not desired, they won't even let us march alone. Like they come into our march and kick us out the march and wreck it. But when it's time to get retribution for all them buildings, though, they're going to desire us then. When it's time to put us in prison and crack our skulls, they're going to desire us then. Like we have to separate from them. Read it again.
On concert, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation, not desire.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you.
You understand? Like the Lord is angry with us. But now it's like our Commander John YAHANNA said, like, imagine a husband whose woman left. You know, sometimes Eve giving trouble, she leave and goes to her parents' house. And you had to go over there and talk to her. It's damn near that same situation with the Lord and us. Like we leaving him and going to these nations, going to these religions, going to them and loving them like how we should be with the Most High. And it's vexing him. He said, I'm a jealous power. He ain't fronting about it. You understand? He telling the truth. He said, I am a jealous power. You understand? He's a man. He's going to get jealous over us. Yep. And if it means he'll put us in the ground, if it means killing us for it, he'll do it. You understand? He'll do it. And he's saying before the decree pass, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon us, how long will we stay committed to this place? How long will we stay in this zone here where we're getting murdered every day, where they're feeding us, all the drugs in the world? They label us like we're the biggest criminals in the whole world. Right. Scarface was no black man. You get the point? The Godfather and them wasn't from the ghetto. You know what I mean? There was good, Roman Catholics, you understand, wearing suits and ties and eating caviar. And they were the biggest gangsters in the world. But yet still, we are looked at like if we the problem in America. Go ahead. Next scripture, give me Joel 3 and 1, all right?
When it's what you said about the Scarface thing. I had watched a documentary where they had a lot of prominent hip hop people from our community talking about the Scarface movie and how Scarface influenced us, and it wasn't the other way around. So they talked about like calling drugs J.O. and all that. All of that stuff comes from the movie.
Yep. That's it.
They the ones that are setting the standard for what gang culture is and what drug culture is, and we're learning from them and then just taking it and running with it.
That's it. Like everything deviant we learn is from the oppressor. Everything in our society that you could look, they would look at us and point the finger and say, we this, we that, we evil, we do this. It comes from them. It comes from Nucky Luciano and what's the other one who was with him? The short one. Forget his name. Who was with Valentine's Day Massacre?
Oh, John Gotti.
Gotti's after that whole crime family. Even Murder Inc. Murder Inc. is a Jewish mafia. Right. You get the point? It's an original Jewish mafia. What's the other one who was with Nucky Luciano? Oh boy, forget his name. Where they was shooting up Chicago. They was tearing Chicago. All them drive-bys with them Tommy guns. Like brothers doing drive-bys now. That thing comes from the heathen. Al Capone. Salak it, brother. Salak. You know what's in my head? Al Pacino. And I don't want to say it. I sound like a goddamn dummy. Al Capone. You understand? Like that's who we pattern our lives after even till this day. Like our deviance comes from us joining them. Right. Joining them and being so intertwined with them is the reason we decay the way we decay. You get the point? Give me Joel 3 and 1. Who have it? Ain't no sweat. Is that heat?
Joel.
Phone locked up because of the heat.
It's the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
What are we talking about there? Read it one more time.
Come on, concert. Verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
What are we talking about there? Anybody? Come on out.
Is this speaking about right now?
He had to break it down though. That's really broad here. He's just like it's speaking about right now. What's going on right now? Is it talking about the heat? Is this a precept for the heat?
It's like black Hispanics and Native Americans are waking up and coming together because of all the chaos that's going on. All the we're tired of the captivity.
That too. That too, but this is more so on the other side. This is more so. Anybody else wanted to try? This? Anybody else? Come on, Zach, you looking at that mic like you want to cut in. Go ahead, cut in. Yeah. Ain't no devils in here to kiss your boots, though. Yeah, I mean, but go ahead and cut in and do your thing. Right? Go ahead.
Is this like a setup for the end game? Like when it says, I'm going to bring to the, like being able to notice the signs of that day coming, of the Lord coming back?
It's that too. It's definitely that. It's like, okay, he's going to bring back up our slavery. Like the Lord is going to take it up now. You understand? Like over the years, we've been crying out. Our leaders been crying out, even though they did a piss poor job. Over the years, we've been crying out about it. But now, brother, the Lord is our advocate now. The Lord is our lawyer now. That's Johnny Cochran walking in the courtroom now. Now he is bringing it to the earth. You understand? Like, because after what's on the tip of everybody's tongue now, spiraling from this George Floyd murder with these riots. What is everybody talking about now? The injustice that we go through.
A race war possibly happening.
A race, but why is a race war happening? Why is it not a race war between America and the Irish, or America and the Africans, or America and the Arabs, who the Arabs been blowing up their towers?
Because of what the police are doing to blacks, Hispanics, they're going to kill us in the streets.
And why are they killing us in the streets?
Because everybody's tired of it.
Why is everybody tired of it though?
Because
we don't have human rights, we have civil rights, and they treat us like animals.
But all that is true. But what I'm saying, all that ties back into our captivity. It's because we are the slaves of this empire. Like, you think about it. We ain't attacked America ever. Right. Not once. There's not one building that, you could point at historically and say, well, black people plotted on this building and blew it up. We didn't do that. But the Arabs have done it, right? With the so-called 9/11, right? With the first World Trade Center, when they drove the car in there and they didn't take down the building. I don't know if you remember that. It was 2 attempts on the trade center. That 9/11 is the second attempt. The first one was, I want to say 90. You could look it up. They drove a car in the basement. It blew up, but the trade center did not come down. You understand? Them Arabs been doing it when they took the Home Depot van in New York and was running over people in the name of terrorism. Right. You understand? The other Arab who or the Pakistani went and shoot up the gay nightclub. You remember that? Right. In England, you had them Africans, 2 Africans went outside. It was a government building, and they hearts down with a meat cleaver and cut his heart out, and then walked up to the camera. You can look this up. There's a video of it. And there's no police killing of Africans. There's no police killing of Arabs. You would think by now some white crazy Uber driver would blow some, Ishmael brain out. You understand? He was digging and praying. He said, Allahu Akbar. I got nervous. You would think by now, surely, some cop would squeeze the life out of an Arab. But why are they not doing it, and why are they doing it to us?
Because no one cares about what you do to the slaves.
Nobody cares about a slave is like a roach. Do you feel guilty when you step on a roach? Do you cry? Do the roaches come and march? No. Do they say all roaches' lives matter? No. You don't feel any type of way when you step on a roach. In fact, a roach is a pest that everybody, the general consensus is that you're lawfully allowed to hate. Anybody loves roaches in here? Y'all have roach collections? Your kids, I know your kids into new stuff these days. Y'all into pets as roaches? Go ahead, sis. Salaki, go ahead. You're confused. You know why you're confused? The heat. That's why. It's the heat. Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, if I may, it's very heavy that you bring up the topic of collecting roaches, because when you look at discovery channels of big people that are trying to collect bugs and insects and being like interested in like doing weird things with animals, right? Is a white man, the devil.
Exactly, because he's a deviant. He's an absolute deviant. And okay, on the face surface, he is doing that. To us, it would appear like he's weird. He's doing that so he knows how to recreate society, because he knows his days are numbered. He's into, he have I forget what they call them. It's like seed farms where they collect seeds and from every germination farms from every crop and flower, and they have a seed banks or germination banks where they keep all those things, because their plan is to survive the nuclear holocaust that's coming, the world war, and recreate society. That's what their plan is, but they don't know the Lord have a different plan. You get the point? They don't know they're not coming out of this next war. This is their last go around. This is the end for them, because the Lord is read this again from the top.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Pass the class over to 12 Shield General Mahayaman.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it popping. I know I'm doing Genesis today, right? We'll do Genesis. Okay, any questions? Anything off of Genesis? We online?
Yes, sir.
Any questions online? I'll give you a minute.
Not right now, sir.
All right. Let's go to Genesis 1 and 1.
I want to in DC, right?
Mm-hmm.
In DC, with how Muriel Bowser did the thing with the street. I don't know if you saw it.
Break that down for me, please.
Okay, there's a street called 16th Street in DC. It's a main street.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Further up is all the churches.
Right.
And when they come all the way down into the heart and northwest, it runs straight into the White House.
Okay.
Right, and that area is where they had the big riots. From right there is where they had where they broke the barriers and stormed the White House lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think 2 days ago, she had a crew for that lower part. She planted Black Lives Matter large.
I saw that. Mm-hmm.
She ain't changed the name. It's still 16th Street, but she put a street sign saying Black Lives Matter Plaza.
Okay.
So I want to know, what would be the UPK stance or the angle to go at in DC with something like that? Because they say that she do it in support. But with all the buildings they done, set on fire down there and break the glass, of course, this is to try to, quell the spirit of the riots, I would say.
Okay, who's the sister? Who's she?
She's the mayor.
So okay. The mayor changed the name of that street where they wrote Black Lives Matter big on the street. She changed the name of the street to Black Lives Matter Plaza.
Right. Well, that area, not the whole street, because it still have the 16th Street.
But that particular area. And how close is that particular area to the White House?
It runs into a cross street, and now behind that cross street is the beginning of the White House law.
Okay, I got you. And so your question is, what's your question?
Okay, I want to know how in speaking on the streets in DC, how would we, what is the angle to go at with, like, how would we go at it?
Okay, well, how is she perceived by the blacks and Hispanics in the city?
It's mixed. Some people say she's not doing enough. A lot of people say she's catering to the white the gentrifiers. Or she makes it easy for them. She definitely catering to the homosexual community, who is a big part of the gentrifiers. She's had an issue with the police brutality in DC since the last chief of police, which was the woman, Cathy Lanier, who left. And she left because she was saying how it's just too much. Her hands was too tied, and she abandoned it and she became security in the NFL, head of security. So I don't know if, she's a politician, the mayor, so it's definitely a political move. But I want to know the best way to go with it.
Okay, I got you. Okay, there are some politicians, right? The game of politics in general is a game for snakes. Like, the kind of person that can be a politician is in general a snake, like someone who is a absolutely professional liar, right? So now, with that said, there are some politicians who are who have good intentions. I'll give you a perfect one. Is Maxine Waters out of Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles. She was the one that uncovered the fact that Ronald Reagan was behind the drug epidemic and how he was selling drugs to fund a war in Nicaragua, right? And she was pressing it, and she was hardcore about trying to do something. In the end of it, nothing happened. No one went to jail. There was nothing. The reporter who exposed it just so happened to commit suicide. He killed himself. You can go Google that. The reporter that she worked with that contacted her, she went to Congress. After everything came out, he went to a hotel room and killed himself, right? So nothing came of it. You get my point? There was no progress. There was no justice at all. But she was good-hearted in wanting it. And you have a lot of people like that throughout the civil rights movement. During the civil rights movement, those black churches that came together wanting jobs and wanting justice and wanting better economics for their people, a lot of the civil rights movement was good-hearted. The intent of it was for jobs. Even the March on Washington, look up the original March on Washington, the name of it. We call it the March on Washington now. But the original name of it was something for jobs. I forget it, right? Something for jobs and employment. And they wanted to find a better path. Come on.
Come on, sir. I got it. It says for jobs and freedom.
For jobs and freedom. These people marched to Washington not wanting money, wanting to be able to earn a goddamn living, to make some money. Of course, history has turned it into black people and white people loving each other. But the reason that they marched down there in their hearts, in their minds, was to have a better life, was to make more money, get a better house, get a better car, send their kids to school. And that's a good thing. You get my point? The problem is a politician just can't do that. That can't be achieved through politics. So in general, any politician that might have done, something that looks supportive to his or her people, in 100% of the cases, it's a good-hearted person doing something that will come to nothing. And that entire thing in Washington, D.C. with marching against Donald Trump will come to nothing. The Black Lives Matter movement will come to nothing. There will be nothing that will change. It will be no different than Martin Luther King's March on Washington, which is the biggest march in history, where they filled up that square in Washington, D.C., and the only change that came from it is that rich black people were able to now become oppressors to poor black people. That's the only thing that changed. But nothing changes for the common black people, the common Hispanic. A politician can't fix that because this curse comes from God. And so now when you talk about her, that was a good thing. She's definitely trying to come up against Donald Trump. And anybody that comes up against Donald Trump is doing an admirable job, because he is a disgusting bastard for what he did to our brothers, the Mexicans. I don't give a damn what else he does for Kanye West or for that old whore, that Kardashian whore. Because of how he treated your brother, the Mexicans, he is a disgusting bastard, and nothing will ever change that. So anybody that is against him has some kind of good heart. They understand at least that this is a cruel, vile man. But her efforts and street sign changes. I mean, come on now. Can you listen? How nice is a neighborhood that's named after Martin Luther King? There's Martin Luther King Boulevard. It's a Martin Luther King Boulevard everywhere. Malcolm X Boulevard, right? In New York, forget about it. Every street is Medgar Evers Boulevard, Malcolm X Boulevard, Martin Luther King Boulevard. What's the other cat? The light-skinned brother back in the civil rights movement. I forget it. Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard. And you go on that block, and it is utter hell with drugs and heroin. And you'll see zombies all leaning up and down the street on Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard, Malcolm X Boulevard, and blah, 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 Medgar Evers Boulevard.
Right.
None of that matters. None of that will change drugs, poverty, death, abortion. Only you can change that. And so that's what you take out on the street. The blacks and Hispanics who believe that black lives actually matter are going to have to actually make that change. It'll have to be done by them. No politician can do that for you. You understand? All right? Any other questions? Questions online? Throw water for the drink, Aki.
It's like a journal. I wanted to break down on Jeremiah 7:22.
Let's get it.
It says, "For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offerings or sacrifice."
Mm-hmm.
And the next verse says, but this thing commanded I them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people.
Pause for a second. Let me give you a precept. Hold that and give me for every beast upon every hill is mine. I believe it's in the Psalms. Every beast upon every green hill, or every beast upon every hill is mine. Also in the precept is, shall thou feed me? Or if I was hungered, I would not ask you for food. You familiar with that, right? Someone else hold it. What's your question in specific about this?
So when I read verse 23 and it said, and it went on to say that I just told them to obey my voice. I know in Deuteronomy 28, I believe 1 and 15 says about it was more so about listening to what I'm telling you to do. So when it says in verse 22 where it says that I spake not to them concerning burnt offerings sacrifices, is this saying like he didn't tell us to start the sacrifices, like sacrifices would be sufficient? This
is the point he's trying to make. The Most High has never wanted one sacrifice. Never. Now think about what I just said. It was never his intent to ever get one sacrifice. What he wanted is for you to obey him. That's what he wanted. But instead, you disobeyed him, which caused you to have to make a sacrifice. But sacrifices are not what he wants. He wants obedience. Think of a sacrifice like a fine you have to pay, right? I issue fines all day, all the time. I love to do it. Somebody does something, I hit them, bang them. $200, bang them. Hard, $300, bang them. Bang them until they get, either they're going to go poor or they're going to obey, right? They'll just decide. Now, here's what you have to remember. The Israelite school of UPK does not need your money. You understand? We fine. Everything is okay. We don't need your money at all. Getting your money is not the point. No one wants your money. You could keep your money. Hopefully, you'll start to want to keep your money. Hopefully, you'll say, man, I should use this for my children and, to pay rent and to get myself some new Texas gold teeth. Right? That's all the gold teeth you want? Don't you want more gold teeth? Don't you want more rims on the car? I asked the brothers down south to look for a car. I'll never do that. I said, brother, I'm looking for a car. So I got it right here, General. It got the giant rims, the spoilers, the this, the that. I said, well, I don't need all that, quite all that decoration on my cars. Y'all like to fix these cars up, right? Well, you need slabs, right? Well, that costs money, brother. Why don't you use some of that? Spend your money on your slabs. You don't have to give the school all your money. Hopefully, you'll love that slab more than you do being stupid. That's the goal. The Lord never wanted any sacrifices. He wanted obedience. That's your best lamb. It's not his best lamb. That's your perfect bull, 1 year old. And a bull 1 year old means what about that bull? It is at peak sexual prowess. A bull 1 year, and not an old bull, not a bull that you've already bred already, which is why the Lord wants a bullock without blemish, without scar, 1 year old, which means you have not had a chance to breed him yet. This bull has never been bred, and he's just coming to the point where you could breed him. And right before you breed him, what do you have to do? Kill him and give him to the Lord because you sinned. He's trying to take something valuable from you, something that you will want so much that you'll stop disobeying him. Let me give you the precept, all right? Where is it at? Please.
Come on, sir. The book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 10. For every beast of the forest is mine.
Go above that up.
Come on, verse 9. I will take no bullock out of thy house.
Let me go one more.
Come on, verse 8. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings, to have been continually before me.
No. I'm sorry. You gotta read it one more. Yeah, 12 sounds right. Read one more. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 7. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. Verse 8.
In Hebrew, that's I am the power, even thy power. Keep going.
I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings.
You heard that, right? I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or for thy burnt offerings. He's not chastising you to get your cows, to get your lambs. He's not checking you just to take from your farm. I will not reprove you for your burnt offerings, for your sacrifices. Go ahead.
To have been continually before me.
To have been continually before me, meaning I'm not chastising you to keep your sacrifices continually in front of me. That's not my goal. It's to constantly have you in droves coming to the temple with your prime livestock, your prime money-making cows, your prime money-making sheep, and to have them constantly in my face, constantly being burned. That's not why I'm chastising you. That's not why I'm reproving you. Keep going.
Verse 9. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he-goats out of thy folds.
You heard that. Keep going.
For every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains.
You understand that? The Lord doesn't need your cows. They're all his. Every cow on 1,000 hills, every goat is his. He doesn't need your goats. And imagine why this prophet would have to say this in those days. Who can guess? Go ahead.
Because they were just killing just to kill and keep sinning.
And what were the people thinking, though, about being required to pay the sacrifice? Malak.
That is pleasing the Most High. Right.
Not pleasing the Most High. You close. Dawuda.
Were they thinking that they were approved, like basically that all the wrong that they were doing was forgiven? I would guess.
No, not quite. Okay, think of it like the people think the priest wants this sacrifice. Right? Remember, the Most High isn't a voice from heaven saying, "Give me your cow." There's a man saying, "Give me your cow. Give me your bull. Give me your he-goat. Bring them here now. Give me 5 of them. Give me 10 of them. Bring them all here. Bring your firstborn here." So there's a man that's requiring it of them. And what do they think about that man?
That they helped that man out. They did him a favor.
Favor is a little, you're close, but favor is not quite it. Go ahead.
They think that he's trying to fulfill his own lust.
You're on to it. They think that this man just wants all their goats. This man just wants to take all of their money. That's what they think about him. They think that here he go. He's taking my bull again. He's taking my bull again. Why? Huh? Why is he taking your goat? Why are you getting fined? I'm out. Right. He doesn't need your goats, all of them belong to the Lord. Every goat on every hill, he knows all of them. Every cow he knows. Every goat he knows. He doesn't need them. Keep going.
I know all the fowls of the mountains. And the wild beasts of the field are mine.
You get that? Why is he saying all the fowl of the mountain and all the wild beasts? Meaning, I don't need the animals on your farm. I'll take every wild animal, right? They aren't owned by anybody but the Most High. I don't need your farm. I'll take the birds that are flying around in the goddamn sky. I'll take the goats that are in the mountains. I'll take them. Keep going.
Verse 12. If I were hungry, I would not tell thee.
Now, this is a real Israelite checking this cat. He's getting checked. If I was hungry, I would not tell you. I don't need you to feed me. I don't need your cows. I don't need your goats. If I was hungry, I wouldn't call you. I wouldn't ask you to feed me. Keep going.
For the world is mine, and the fullness thereof.
You get that. Keep going.
Verse 13. Will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats?
Is the Lord eating this cow? He's burning it. It's gone. It's only to hurt you. Do you understand? That's the point. The point is not to profit from it. The point is to hurt you. That's the goal of a sacrifice. That's the original intent of sacrifices, to hurt the person that has to give it. And there is no goal other than that, because the Lord is not eating that bull. He doesn't need it. If he wants a bull, he'll grab one from off of a hill somewhere. Keep going.
Come, verse 14. Offer unto power thanksgiving.
Offer unto the power.
The power. So
Keep going.
Come, and pay thy vows unto the Most High.
What does the Lord want from you financially? He wants you to pay your vow, meaning your tithes. He wants you to keep your vow. You have a vow, pay it. He doesn't need your sacrifices. You make a vow before the Most High, then pay that vow. But as far as having you constantly bring your goats and your cows to him continually day and night, he doesn't want any of that. He wants your obedience. Everybody understand? You can read that on down. Of course, you have Psalm 55 where the Most High, where David said, the Lord delights not in burnt offerings. He desireth not sacrifices. That's in Psalms 55, I believe, right? Or 50. You can check it out. Good to go here? Solid. Go ahead, Doc.
This is from Amberlyn Prather. Can I get another quick breakdown on how are we to understand Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25 to 33?
Let's get it.
Come. This is the book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, as even as Christ also loved the church.
Who wants to give it a shot? Husband, this is speaking to the men, right? Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ has loved the church. Who wants to break it down, Malak?
So like it, sir. So I know a lot of us focus more on women submitting to their husband as unto the Lord, meaning in all of subjection to all these people are subject to the Most High.
Right.
Well, this is saying that we need to love our wives just like Christ loved the church. And what did he do for the church? Well, he gave his life.
Give him a hand. That's exactly what it means. Right? You'll find like in every breakdown, there's something that a woman should do. There's something that a child should do. There's something that a man should do. Right now, we're reading about what a man should do. A man should love his wife as Christ has loved the church. What is a church? The school, the body of Israelites, which is the direct translation of the word church. All right, body of Israelites. It's in the Bible dictionary. Come on.
I was gonna say, would it be acceptable to also say Christ taught the church, so you should teach it?
Most definitely. Give him a hand. Right? He taught them. All of these things are very difficult to do with a stubborn and hard-headed woman. Right? Who else had difficulty teaching and dying for people? Christ. Because we were a very stubborn and hard-headed church. You get my point? It was very difficult for him to deal with us, because we refused to listen, we refused to obey, we refused to be loyal. Remember, he told Peter said, I would never deny you, Lord. He said, you will deny me 3 times before the cock crows. And Peter, of course, did that. Right? Peter tried to not let Christ wash his feet until Christ said, if I wash thee not, thou hast no part with me. And then Peter said, well, come on and wash me then. Right? Like we were very slow to understand, didn't understand much. And he just kept teaching us on. He had patience with us. You understand that, right? Go ahead.
Hey, so like I said,
somebody trying to distract me with these smells because something smells amazing in here. That's Satan now. Because now you're trying to distract me and just float me right over there off the podium. Like on the cartoons when they carry you, the smell carry you over there. Just get that smell out of here. This class will be over. Go ahead,
So like I said, if I may, could we also use this as a precept to say, okay, you know how, I don't know the exact precept for when it says how the man is supposed to be provided. Christians use that to give me money.
Gotcha.
So can we use this as a precept to say what the same thing that Christ provided for the church is what the man is supposed to provide for his woman?
Give him a hand.
That's right.
Exactly. And so now all you have to do is go back and read about what Christ did for his brothers. The church, of course, at that time was first 5,000 men who then left the truth. And then it came down to 12 men, 11 men. Right? And so you think about what he did for those 11 men. That's what you have to do for your wife. So what do you have to do? You're going to have patience with her. You're going to have to teach her, though you're going to want to stop teaching her. You're not going to want to teach her anymore because it's going to seem like it's not working. She's not listening. You know, you should just quit it. But you keep going. You're going to have to be kind to her when she needs it. You're going to have to be stern with her when she needs it. Why? Because that's what Christ did. You're going to have to put a goal in front of her so she can see the goal. That's what Christ did. Christ said, when Peter came to Christ and said, Lord, we have forsaken all and follow thee. What shall we receive? Christ said, there is none of you that are with me now or in the next generation that will not receive 100-fold what you lost. That's what Christ said. Why? Showing Peter the goal, showing him what he will receive for following Christ. Do that for your wife. Let her see the end result. Christ said, my Father's house hath many mansions. So many fake Israelite nuts think that's talking about aliens. You'd be surprised over the years. That is a classic alien scripture to fake Israelites, right? They always use that to mean Mars, you know, and Jupiter, right? Uranus. But of course, it's not talking about that. It's talking about mansions here on earth, right? The white man's kingdom